everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. Today I've been thinking about doing this video for a little while, and I've been thinking about what to say, and it's going to be a video on why I chose the Toyota Tundra, which we're sitting in now, over any of the other big three. Now I'm kind of excluding Nissan out of this because I think Nissan has some nice ideas with the Cummins and stuff like that, but I really still don't think they're as popular as like Toyota or the big three in the full-size truck market. So that's why I'm saying the big three. And I think the big three is the main competitor in the truck market overall. But this is why I chose the Toyota over any of those. So let's get into it. First of all, I'd like to say I'm back home from Florida. I already missed Florida. I've not even been back 10 hours yet. It's cold here. It's miserable. I hate the cold. But that's not what the story's about. I just want to let y'all know that I'm back home. So the reason I chose the Toyota Tundra over the big three, we're kind of going to go through each one of them, let you know what changed my mind off of each one of those. Now, of course, there is Toyota reliability. Toyota is known for its reliability. There's tons of people out there that have Toyotas with hundreds of thousands of miles on them. And I have a lot of friends that have Toyotas that have hundreds of thousands of miles on them. And they've been trying to get me to buy a Toyota for years. And I wouldn't do it. I bought Ford trucks to start with, as you all know. We're not going to get into that a lot. I have a couple of videos out there already talking about my issues with Ford. I will go over them real quickly right here in case you're new to the channel or new to this video. But if you want to see my main issues with Ford in a longer video, go to my channel, hit most viewed. I've got a couple of videos that's close to 200,000 views, and both those are mainly issues with my Ford trucks. But get on with that. My first Ford, I did buy a V8 5.0, and as most of y'all know that are watching this video probably, had tons of electrical issues with that truck. Just tons of electrical issues. I wanted a Ford. I like the body style. I like the American made and stuff like that. Even though Toyota is made in Texas, you know, Ford was an American company, and I liked that. So I went with them. I liked that they had a box frame instead of a C-channel frame and all that. But then I realized I didn't tow anything. I really didn't tow much at all. So the box frame really didn't matter one way or the other to me. But that was a big selling point when I bought my first F-150, and it had just tons of electrical issues. It seemed to be in the shop all the time. And so I was raising Cain when the warranty was about to run out, bought my second F-150. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So, you know, that's kind of what happened there. I bought my second one, EcoBoost. They talked that EcoBoost up. I've had turbo cars in the past, no issues at all with those. So I thought, well, okay, we're going to try the turbo. And it was a beast. Oh, it was a beast. I've always said that. I've always said I like the power of that truck. But being that that truck had the problems that those vehicles had back then, I've heard some people say they've had the same issues now. The intercooler would condensate when you hit, when it dropped down a gear to pass another vehicle on the interstate or something like that. If you've been driving for like 3 or 4 hours in humid and rainy conditions, it would throw it in limp mode. It about got me killed a couple of times. Ford just basically turned their back on me, didn't want nothing to do with me. Told me pretty much, have at it, it's your problem. They looked at it a few times, couldn't fix it, and that's when they basically said, we've done all we can do. So, like I said, there's more in the other videos about that. So for all the people who's going to say you should buy American, I did buy American, and they turned their back on me. So, you know, what am I supposed to do? Keep buying American, let them keep turning their back on me? I'm an American also. American companies should, you know, support American people, but it didn't. So moving on, that's some of the reasons I left Ford. Like I said, if you want further information on that, go back to the channel, most viewed, and the two that pops up will be those two videos. Next, we're going to talk about Chevy. Now, I read something in an article today that I found kind of funny. Now, this is just an article I read, you know, I didn't do any background or anything like that. But I heard that, you know, the new Chevy commercial where they're saying they're more dependable and reliable than Toyota and Honda, which is a Honda right behind me. They pulled that ad that it seems, apparently, because Toyota called them out, and so did Ford and Honda. And Chevy said they pulled it because they have a new Silverado coming up, but you knew you had a new Silverado coming up anyway. The people that wrote the article said they couldn't find it. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm just saying that it's kind of funny that that happened. I'm pretty sure I read in the article that Toyota's attorney did say that they contacted Chevrolet about that, but that's not what this video is about. But I just thought I'd throw it in there because I thought that was kind of funny that I make this video on the day I read that article. So I take a lot of trips. As I just said a minute ago, I just got back from Florida. And, of course, we didn't take this truck. We took my wife's car for gas mileage purposes. But it was just me and her this time. We weren't going to the beach. We wasn't hauling canopies and chairs and all that stuff. Excuse me. Which we have done that before in her car, but it's really tight. When I start taking my daughter and friends and stuff like that to the beach, I wanted the room. This truck is huge. It's enormous on the inside. I love that about this truck. It almost makes me feel like I have an SUV equivalency with the room that I have in here. And I just really love that room, and that is something I was really looking for. Now, my dad has like a 2015 Silverado. The back seats are tiny. I mean, there's no room. When I scoop my seat all the way back in this, I have several inches of space in between my knees and the seat. Now, I'm 6'3". My wife has like almost a foot of room in between her knees and the back seat when it's pushed all the way back. In my dad's truck, with the seat sitting where I would ride in it, which has to be all the way back, because my knees almost touch the dash in that truck when the seat's all the way back, her knees are touching the seat. Now, she's like 5'6". So, I mean, I don't know, the trucks on the outside look almost the same, but on the inside, there is a world of difference in the room in that truck and this truck. And I just couldn't give up that room. Now, I like Chevrolets, and my dad has a couple issues with his that I think are premature and shouldn't have happened this early on in the life of the truck, because it only has like 50-some thousand miles on it. When I review that truck, I will get into what those issues are, but I'm not going to get into it now because I will eventually review that truck. And that's a long time coming. That's one of my most highly recommended or asked for videos, is the review of the Silverado. And I just haven't been able to get the time to do that, and I apologize. Sorry, since I got back to Tennessee, I've been coughing like crazy. But the room, and it just seems like his just doesn't have the same power as this truck, and especially not the EcoBoost. The EcoBoost had way more power, it felt like, and torque than the Tundra even does, but that could be because the Tundra's riding on 35s and the F-150 was riding on stock wheels. But his truck on stock wheels don't even feel like it has the same power or torque that the Tundra has, and nowhere near it. Going up mountains, like I live in a mountainous region, I have to drive up the mountains in North Carolina to go to, I got family over there. I go to the beach a lot. Anytime we drive his truck up the mountain, it just seems real sluggish and seems to really gear down a lot. And like it's always looking for a gear because it's wanting more power to pull that mountain. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that feel. I knew I was going to lift my truck. I knew I was going to put big tires on it. And if it's already bogging down like that on the stock, regular 20-inch wheels that's on it, he does have 20s on his truck. What's it going to do when I throw 35s underneath it? Now, some of y'all say, hey, diesel options. There again, I don't tow anything. I don't need a diesel. So I'm sure the diesel, Fords and Chevys are way more powerful, but I didn't need that. So I was looking for, a regular Silverado, and just the room and the lack of power it seemed to have just turned me off of that truck. So I canceled that truck out, mainly on room alone. I could have probably dealt with the power. I could have done something and got some more power out of the vehicle or something like that. But just the lack of room on the inside of the truck, mainly in the back, because my wife talks about how uncomfortable that truck is when she rides in it. Even just the seating, she doesn't like the seating in the back of the truck. That was a no-go for me. Happy wife, happy life. She wouldn't have been happy with that. So lack of room, canceled that truck out. As for RAM, I have to say the only Rams I've ever rode in are diesels. I've never rode in, I don't think I've ever ridden in a gas powered Ram. The thing that scares me about Ram more than anything is resale value. I'm not sure. I've not looked at Ram in a few years, but the last time I looked at Ram, they just dropped in value so much. It was crazy. Now they've got a lot more technology now and a lot more, stuff going for them. And maybe that's increased the resale value. None of the big three's resale value is going to compete with the Toyota Tundra. None of them. I read an article the other day. There were two Wranglers. I don't know why two Wranglers were at the top of the list because it's still Wrangler, but there were two Wranglers at number 1 and 2. I think the Tacoma was number 3 and the Tundra was number 4 in resale value, of any, vehicle on the market. And I mean, that was straight out. I think it was Consumer Reports. I can't remember where I read that at, but it was an article I read and they ranked the resale value. Ford wasn't even on the list. I think Chevy had the Silverado and Ram was not on the list either. So that tells me that, Rams still aren't holding their value like some of the other big, full-size trucks are. And that just kind of scares me a little bit because I trade cars a lot and I'm hoping not to trade this truck. I really like this truck, but who knows? I may get an itch in a couple years when they come out with a new one and be like, I want a new truck and I'll trade it. But this thing will hold its value. And I'm afraid that the Ram just wouldn't do that. Now they have this big screen in the middle, this big Tesla looking screen. And, that's really cool. But in my opinion, technology has ruined reliability. That is another reason that I chose the Tundra. Everybody says it's so plain and so old and outdated. It is old and outdated, but it is a proven system. These engines go forever. It doesn't have a ton of technical stuff in it. And, it's got a regular screen over here with navigation and, it pairs your phone and got a few apps, but nothing outlandishly crazy that can go wrong. And I've had electrical issues in the past and I didn't want that again. So I didn't want all that technology. I didn't want all that. I just wanted something that was reliable, that had enough technology, to play music on the radio and run a navigation. Really, in your vehicle, what more do you need? It's a vehicle. You're going to get distracted if you start having all this stuff you have to go through to, just change your air conditioner or something like that. I mean, it's a distraction and I didn't want that. But also I wanted the reliability aspect of not having that. But like I said, the resale value, like I said, I've never ridden one. Maybe it's not a fair comparison, but when I was looking a few years ago for a secondary vehicle and I bought a Nissan Frontier, 4-door, 4-wheel drive, I didn't even look at Rams. But for some odd reason, after I bought that Frontier, I went looking at Rams, and a 2-year newer 4-door, 4-wheel drive Ram was only $1,500 more than my Frontier. A mid-size truck. And I bought one of the cheaper Frontiers I could find with lower mileage on it. There were tons of Frontiers way more expensive than what I bought. I just wanted a secondary little truck because I had a sports car at the time, I think. And I was wanting something just to haul stuff around in. So I could have bought a full-size Ram 2 years newer for like $1,500 more. The Fords and Chevys at that time were like $5,000 and $6,000 more than the Frontier was. And you couldn't touch a Tundra for like $8,000 or more than what the Frontier was. So, I had ruled Toyota out immediately. And when I seen how much Ford and Chevy was, and they held their value like that, I ruled them out. But when I seen Ram was only like $1,000, $1,500 more, and that's before even, trying to talk a dealership down, that freaks me out a little bit when you're talking about spending so much money, $50,000 to $60,000 on a new truck, and then you drive it off the lot only to just lose just tons of money over, the next few months, or even just as you drive it off the lot. I just couldn't see doing that. So that's why I ruled Ram out for me, in that aspect. And that's really why I went with Toyota. There again, it holds its resale value, doesn't have so much technology that you have to worry a lot about it. The reliability, the reputation that Toyota has is amazing. And there's so many modifications you can do to these trucks that it's crazy. So, you know, I almost look at the Toyotas and the Tundra almost like, and the Tacoma especially, like the Lego blocks of the car industry. I mean, there's just so much stuff you can build and do to them. It's just endless. And I'm sure the other vehicles are like that too, the other big three, but there just seems to be so much more for Toyota out there than does a lot of those. So, that's why I chose Toyota. Those are the reasons I did not choose the big three. Leave in the comments, you know, this is just my opinion. Your opinions may vary. You may say I'm un-American for buying a Toyota. This is built in America, by American employees. So, you know, I did support Americans. They were building this. I also support Americans when I bought Ford, and they didn't support me by fixing it. So it is what it is. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Leave in the comments, you know, why you chose, which truck you chose. Appreciate you watching this video. We'll see you next time.